Welcome to all in virtual classroom of biology for standard 12 science students produced by Department of Biology is a part of Janta Shikshan Sanstha's Kisanveer Mahavidyalaya Vai in session number 4 presented by Sri Sushant Kumar Swami. Today I am delivering a lecture on menstrual cycle or ovarian cycle. This menstrual cycle or ovarian cycle, sometimes it is called as uterine cycle or reproductive cycle. This menstrual cycle is characteristic feature of primates including man. This menstrual cycle means series of cyclic changes occurs in ovary and uterus under the effect of gonadotropins and ovarian hormones. The cycle is repeated after every 28 days in human being if hormonal balance is normal. For details of this cycle, look at the screen. Here is the diagrammatic representation of menstrual cycle. This diagram clearly indicates a different phases occurring in menstruation or menstrual cycle. Generally, there are four phases. First phase is a menstrual phase. Look at the screen. This one is the menstrual phase. This lasts for 4 to 5 days. In some female, it may be extended up to 7 days, or it may be uh, completed within 3 days. It's depend on the hormones present in our body. This is the first phase, is the menstrual phase. Second phase is the proliferative phase. It starts from 5th day and ends into 13th day. Next, 14th day, there is a phase that is called as ovulatory phase, and from 15th to 28th, that is secretory phase. These are the four phases observed in menstrual cycle. Now we are going to study detail about these phases. For this study of menstrual cycle, we have studied on two steps. First step, we see the changes occurs in the ovary, that is called as ovarian changes during this cycle. And the second step is the changes occurs in uterus. First one, we are going to study about menstrual phase. Menstrual phase is also called bleeding phase. Menstrual phase is also called as bleeding phase. It lasts up to 5th day. It is started after 15. It is started when prostaglandin hormone released in body. This prostaglandin hormone degenerate endometrial wall of uterus. This endometrial wall, blood cells, cell debris, unfertilized ovum, all substance flows out from the body, flows out from the uterus via vagina outside the body. This is called as menses. And this menses starts. That is the menstrual phase starts. In this menstrual phase, in ovary, look at this. This is the menstrual phase. This is the menstruations, means flow of blood, cells, unfertilized ovum, etc., etc. It start to release from the body. In this time, up to 1 to 4 or 5th day, at this time in ovary, what happens? Means changes occurring in ovary during the menstrual phase. During the menstrual phase, the follicle stimulating hormone is secreted by pituitary gland. This pituitary gland secretes FSH hormone. This hormone acts on germinal epithelium of ovary. In germinal epithelium, number of primordial follicles are there, in which one follicle is primordial follicle is develops into primary follicle. Primary follicle develops into secondary follicle, and this one is the secondary follicle. Primary development of primary follicle to secondary follicle, these changes occurs in ovary during the menstrual phase. At this time, what changes occurs in uterine phase? Uterine phase, only endometrium is degenerate and it removes out. This is the menstrual phase. After this menstrual phase, next phase is proliferative phase. This is the proliferative phase. This is constructive phase, and it lasts up to it start from 5th day and ends into 13th day. Its duration is 5 to 13th day of menstrual cycle. This is the 5 to 13th day of menstrual cycle. This phase is called as proliferative phase. In this phase, changes seen in the ovary are this secondary follicle. This secondary follicle is develops into a matured follicle. Secondary follicle is develops into matured follicle. That follicle is known as Graafian follicle. This Graafian follicle, now these changes occurs in the ovary. Only secondary follicle is develops into Graafian follicle. This limited changes occurs in the ovary, but main changes occurs in uterus. In uterus, the endometrium is repair or reconstruct. It means that it slowly increase its size, its thickness. Size or thickness is slowly increase its size. Means the menstrual cells proliferates and it increases its size. Not only it increases its size, but it increases a network of vessels in glands and vessels in the wall of uterus, that is endometrium. This is due to under the action of estrogen. Important point is there, estrogen. This estrogen secreted by secondary follicle and mature follicle, means 5th, 6th, 7th day it secreted a secondary follicle, then tertiary follicle and mature follicle. Due to the action of estrogen or influence of the estrogen, endometrium reconstruct, and this phase is also known as constructive phase. This is the proliferative phase. At the end of proliferative phase, this follicle stimulating hormone slowly decreased and luteinizing hormone starts secreting. After 13th day of menstrual cycle, a level of luteinizing hormone is highly increased. This causes the Graafian follicle ruptures and ovum comes out. This process is known as ovulation. It takes place on 14th day of menstrual cycle. Means ovulatory phase. In this phase, ovulation takes place in the ovary. Ovulation takes place means ovule is come out from the Graafian follicle into abdominal cavity. Then it is collected by primary of infundibulum. Then it is enters into fallopian tube. This is happens in ovulatory phase. Then after the ovulatory phase, a 15th day, from 15 to 28 days, next phase is known as secretory phase. This is secretory phase. In this phase, here is either or situation. It means that if fertilization is there, this is either situation. If fertilization is there, this ovulation takes place, ovum comes out in the fallopian tube. At that time, sperm enter into the female genital tract, fertilization is there, then this phase plays important role. Now what happened in secretory phase? After the in secretory phase, what changes occurs in the ovule? Let's see. In previous phase, that is ovulatory phase, ovulation takes place, means ovum comes out from the Graphene follicle. Now this empty graphene follicle converts into white body. This white body is known as corpus luteum. This corpus luteum acts as a temporary endocrine gland. It secretes female hormone, that is progesterone. And under the influence of progesterone, this endometrium in uterus, endometrium maintain its growth, size, thickness, all things are maintained by this endometrium. This is, yes, uterine changes, endometrium grows, and it is well glandular, well coiled, vascular, number of vessels are there increased. At this time, if embryo implant here, if implantation takes place, this uterine gland secrete uterine fluid. This uterine fluid consists glycogen, which gives nourishment to developing embryo. It is also known as, glycogen is also known as milk of uterine or uterine milk. It is also known as uterine milk. This stage continued. Now in secretory phase, here is important thing is that if corpus luteum is there, if corpus luteum continuously secrete progesterone, pregnancy is continued or embryological development continued and embryo is develops and possibility of pregnancy is continued. So progesterone hormone is known as pregnancy hormone. If secretion of progesterone is inhibit or stop, abortion takes place in the body. But if there is no fertilization, what happens? We see the now we see the what happens when fertilization is there. Then secretory phase. In secretory phase, wall grows. They supplies implantation of embryo and it supplies nourishment. Embryo grows. Embryological development takes place here, and new baby born, etc., etc. But if what happens? If fertilization is not there, if fertilization is not there, this corpus luteum waits up to 2 weeks after ovulation. It means up to 14 days, and it degenerates or converts into a white scar called as corpus albicans. And if corpus luteum is converted into corpus albicans, it means that secretion of progesterone stops here. Secretion of progesterone is decreased or stopped, and lack of secretion of progesterone or decreased level of progesterone, it stimulates to secrete hormone prostaglandin. And if hormone prostaglandin secretes, this wall of endometrium is discard or degenerate, ruptures, and it is discard and it start to removes from the body. It means the menstruation start. This is the menstrual cycle. I hope all of you understand. For any doubts or any, you can contact me on WhatsApp. There is a number. You can ask me any question related to this. Thank you.